So great waves. In the early days of Meiji era, there lived a well-known wrestler called Onami. Great waves. His name was meant great, great waves. Onami was immensely strong and knew the art of wrestling. In his private bouts, he defeated even his teacher. But in public, he was so bashful that his own disciple threw him. Onami felt he should go to a Zen master for help. Hakuju, a wandering teacher, was stopping in the little temple nearby. So Onami went to see him, this master Hakuju, and told him his trouble. This is my trouble. He's excellent in terms of the art. He's excellent in terms of the skill, but then he cannot perform. While in practice, he's perfect. While in performance, he can't beat even his disciples. Great waves is your name, the teacher advised. So stay in the temple tonight. Imagine that you are those billows. You are no longer a wrestler who is afraid. You are those huge waves sweeping everything before them, swallowing all in their path. Do this and you will be the greatest wrestler in the land. The teacher retired. Onami sat in meditation trying to imagine himself as waves. He thought of many different things. Then gradually he turned more and more to the feeling of the waves. As the night advanced, the waves became larger and larger. They swept away the flowers in their vases. Even the Buddha in the shrine was inundated. Before dawn, the temple was nothing but the ebb and flow of an immense sea. In the morning, the teacher found Onami meditating, a faint smile on his face. He patted the wrestler's shoulder. Now nothing can disturb you, he said. You are those waves. You will sweep everything before you. The same day, Onami entered the wrestling contest and won. After that, no one in Japan was able to defeat him. It's a beautiful story, actually. Great Waves. The name is Great Waves. Onami, probably the name in Japanese means Great Waves. Any would like
Yeah,
to
tsunami,
say
right? Tsunami, like
tsunami?
Onami.
Onami is waves, and Onami O is great. Probably. Thank you, ma'am. And before speaking out, one thing, many of these words, this is actually a translation from original Chinese to English. So what happened is that translated seemed to be, he might be a person from China, so there could be some words which may not exactly suit to that context, but then we have no other go. We understand the flow of the story and understand it. Some of the words or some of the expressions may not be as as clear as what is it written in Chinese. So great waves onami could be the story name in Chinese. Anyone would like to speak? I feel like I should speak every time,
Yeah,
or Sri Priya ma'am.
yeah,
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 please.
Ajit.
Thank you. Please.
Ajit, what are
Yeah,
these waves actually?
Yes, go ahead.
Kumaran sir, please go on. After that, Ashita.
Okay, thanks. No, what are these waves actually, and how did it help them to defeat?
Waves, actually, in this story, his name happened to be Onami, which means great waves. So we can find out very fine parallels like the wave nature of existence. That way, we can maybe think of that, maybe metaphorically or metaphysically rather. Here,
Yeah,
plainly, the name means the great waves. So he is actually identifying himself with his name and thereby the great waves of the ocean and getting the attributes
and
of those waves.
So that quality made him to defeat. That's what you
That
mean to say.
exactly, that quality made him to win any wrestling matches for that matter.
Ashita?
Ashita, you speaking?
Yeah.
Please, yeah.
So, can you hear me?
Yes,
Yeah.
very much.
Yeah. So I was telling that he probably used the visualization technique, right? So
Hmm.
the power of his name, he just closed
Hmm.
his eyes and then he thought how powerful, like the waves,
Hmm.
how powerful he is, or
Hmm.
the power of his mind. So he visualized him, being that powerful, and then
Yeah.
probably that is what helped him overcome the
The actually,
that fear.
yeah,
Probably there was always a fear, probably in
in
within,
him, yeah.
which he
Beautiful.
was able
Thanks.
to overcome. Yeah.
Thank
I
you.
was looking at it as
Huh.
maybe a building of self-esteem, and
Confidence. Yes.
self-confidence.
Yes.
So, like visualizing, like Ashita said.
Hmm.
So, as the waves, as he visualizes the waves, he builds
Huh.
his own self-esteem, which grows bigger.
Ha ha.
And then once you feel good about yourself,
Ha.
and you have the confidence in yourself, then you're able to deal with
Yes.
things.
Huh. Thank you, man. Thank you. So how he is able to probably overcome his own kind of what is a definition. Ma'am, would you like to speak?
Who are you
I
asking,
mean,
Sripriya?
Sripriya, ma'am, are you there?
No, I think I reflect the same opinion. I mean, the
Okay.
wave to me, it reflects your like self-confidence, right? Like
Yes.
your, I mean, all these objects like the flowers, even the Buddha statue, right? There are a lot of
Yes.
things around us which are sometimes our obstacles, right?
Yes.
I'm not saying Buddha statue is an obstacle, but generally there are a lot of things that either are obstacles or deviations, distractions, right?
Yes.
But you have your willpower to
Yeah.
kind of that overflows and kind of
Yes.
submerges all those obstacles and moves forward, right?
Yes.
That's the visual that I get with this
Yes.
waves thing.
Oh,
And
that's lovely, Sripriya.
this
I
really, I
never
mean,
thought of the obstacles as the flowers and the vases falling off and being swept away. Yeah, so
yes.
nice.
May I just read that once again? Like, as the night advanced, the waves became larger and larger. They swept away the flowers in their vases. Even the Buddha in the shrine got inundated. Before dawn, the temple was nothing but the ebb and flow of an immense sea. Uh, I would like to add a little more on this one. It is more than a visualization. It goes even beyond that. Visualization means there is an implied meaning that you are visualizing something, you are creating something. It is more than a visualization. It is a virtualization, and it is an identification. I see it in that level actually, because if we look at this person, Onami is really identifying himself with the waves. He Because his identity was very well defined, very narrowly defined as a wrestler, as a skilled wrestler earlier, and he was caught up in that box of a skilled wrestler who can beat anyone. But it is not happening probably in the bars, inside the rings. So which he probably, because of he being caught up in that definition, so he kind of breaks that definition, visualization, meditation, and he gets into a level where it becomes his value or virtue. From visualization to virtualization to identification, to a level where he literally become waves. He is not at all a wrestler, he is not at all this person, he is not at all this 50 kilo, 100 kilo, whatever. He is literally becoming the wave which bashes away anything and everything in front of it, which means the he gets into his being state with no such judgments, no such definitions which kind of what you say limit him, which
that's an interesting perspective, right?
Which is actually
he doesn't
limiting.
box himself into that I need to win thing, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm the wrestler.
Yeah. Exactly, because I need to win. That judgment comes when there is this dichotomy of winning or losing, guru or disciple, or what you say. That beautifully they have mentioned about. He used to beat his master in the practice, but he used to fail with his disciples in the ring, when the disciples could easily, his own pupils threw him easily. So their hierarchies come in, right and wrong, good and bad, or win or so he gets into that dichotomy, which is again very much judgmental, or very much very much it holds the expectation. He carries unnecessarily carries the burden of expectation. A wrestler is meant to win. A wrestler has to be so, which ultimately make him lose himself, actually what he is. So that is probably the beauty of this story, and he identifies, as Kumaran was beautifully, we need to look at waves in a very because it speaks about the amplitude of the waves. The waves become larger and larger, so obstacles cannot grow like that, because obstacles are again physical beings. Waves become larger and larger where the obstacles are nothing. So there are a lot of connotations we could go on. If we see, it has got a literal quality as well. And wave again is a, metaphysically speaking, wave again is probably a nature of matter. It is not completely off from matter. It is a state of being of matter. With every solid there is an attached wave, is what the dual nature of existence says. So anything more to add on this, or
Yeah, I was thinking the other
yeah,
way
please.
about that. After doing the night penance, he will go and embrace the wrestler and surrender.
Exactly. He is no longer a wrestler. Once that is done, he become the waves, and he's owned by the sea. So he's driven by the sea, driven by the ocean, which is again, I need not say, how powerful ocean is. He's not.
I actually love the smile on his face after
That
after he said.
maybe the
So
realization. Yeah. Yes. Beautiful.
yeah.
There's a smile. I would try to read it. Just a faint smile on his face. Beautifully said. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you,
You have
Asha.
that. You have that presentation or any smile face?
In the sense?
No, I visualized.
Okay. No,
Okay.
no, no. Because in some book they used to give the image, right? So I was
No, this
asking, is
is
there any?
no. This is just text only. Oh, thank you, Rupa. Thank you so much. Shall we move on to another story? A moon cannot be stolen, which is again a beautiful story. The very next story. Um, Ryokan, a Zen master, lived in the simplest kind of life in a little hut at the foot of a mountain. One evening, a thief visited his hut, only to discover that there is nothing in to steal. Ryokan returned and called him. "You may have come a long way to visit me," he told the prowler, "and you should not return empty-handed. Please take my clothes as a gift." The thief was bewildered. He took the clothes and slunk away. Ryokan sat naked watching the moon. "Poor fellow," he mused. "I wish I could give him this beautiful moon." Such a beautiful story. I don't know. So, would you like to just reflect on this? It's actually a beautiful story. One of the beautiful story in this.
I think this is the best of whatever you've said so far.
Yeah, I also feel so. Such a beautiful story.
Ajit, do you mind repeating it, please?
Okay. Ryokan is Zen master. The story is named "The Moon Cannot Be Stolen." Ryokan, a Zen master, lived the simplest kind of life in a little hut in the foot of a mountain. One evening, a thief visited his hut only to discover that there is nothing in it to steal. steal. Ryokan returned and called him. You may have come a long way to visit me, he told the prowler, and you should not return empty-handed. Please take my clothes as a gift. The thief was bewildered. He took the clothes and slunk away. Ryokan sat naked, watching the moon. Poor fellow, he mused. I wish I could give him this beautiful moon. That's how it ends.
It's beautiful.
So, would you like to say something, Ashi?
So he mean
Yeah.
to say that that experience of the moon he cannot give to that person more than what he have given material.
In the sense, sorry.
No, he was not able to give the experience of the moon than the materialistic thing which he has given.
Could be that way. Could be that way also. We could actually moon is a metaphor here. Clearly, moon is a metaphor, no doubt. And maybe we can.
I'm trying to see the act of giving. What for else he can give, right? That's the subject. More than the materialistic thing. What
Yeah,
for?
Exactly. That is what. The infiniteness of the moon, or the what exactly moon depicts, is what the reflection of the story itself is. So if we see moon, the major thing with moon is reflecting. Moon is filtering sun's rays, and her sun's rays are really hot. It kinds of filters and cools it off, and it reflects it to the people. And moon is again, if you take in Zen tradition, moon, pond, these things are usually used metaphors, in the sense, the moon is.
Yeah, what is a metaphor? I'm thinking of this as like, but clearly the Zen master also does not have the moon in his hand, right? Moon is
Yeah.
available for everybody, right?
Yeah.
So I'm thinking the metaphor that I'm thinking is it is his inner joy, right?
Yeah.
Whatever joy that he's able, he like nobody can steal your inner joy. No,
Yes.
they can steal whatever you have external factors, but
Yes.
what you have internally nobody can steal, right?
Exactly.
So I kind of, that metaphor for me is like his content, his peacefulness, his inner joy.
Yeah.
That is what is metaphorically
And
referring
maybe
as
one more
moon.
thing is there is the beauty. Moon is again the feminine beauty, that feminine beauty of being.
The feminine beauty of being.
Being.
Why is it feminine?
Moon is generally seen as feminine, and sun is masculine. That's where just in stories, when we see moon also, this moon is kind of filtering. It is actually
Okay, so
absorbing,
you're cooling. Yeah. Okay.
filtering it.
Okay, you're thinking that way. Okay.
And it is reflecting at the same time. So moon is on reflection. Moon is more natural because what would I say? The moonlight is like a sea on the land. It actually soothes the day, the earth, or the day, or the atmosphere, which has got really warmed up by moon throughout the day. So it is that feminine, probably feminine. Let's not let me not repeat that. At least it is that which compassion, that which kinds of soothes everything, which made him act in a certain way to the thief who came to steal something from him.
Yeah, I see the beauty in the world, but he's not able to see it.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
That way.
And I cannot give him that thing that he's sad about. He's actually empathizing with the person. How limited this person is. Which is again, and moon, and this is probably as you said, ma'am, this is probably the best story as of now we have read. This could be the.
So what is the title of the story?
The moon cannot be stolen.
Yeah.
Actually, the thief visited this master's hut to steal something, and the master had nothing to give, but then he gave his clothes. He removed his clothes and stripped himself and gave the clothes to him, and you take this. And he is actually kind of would you say, thinking, poor fellow, I would have given him this beautiful moon, which I cannot. That's how this.
Yeah, there is not two people. I'm seeing three people in this story.
Yeah, yes.
So one is the moon, one is the master, one is the thief.
Yes, yes.
So for him only master is visible.
Huh.
So he is asking, so master is giving. The
Yes.
other person is also with master.
Huh.
So he is not able to see the other person, that is moon,
Hmm.
which is an eternal thing.
Yeah.
As Sri Priya mentioned, it's the joy of giving, sharing gives happiness, more and more happiness.
Yeah.
Even after giving his clothes, he will be finding something to give it to the thief if thief asks for.
Yeah.
So the more you give, the more happiness he will be having. So that cannot be stealed.
Yeah.
And his partner is moon.
Yeah. Beautifully
So
said,
this is my
Mani sir. Beautifully
perspective.
said. I would say this here, as you said, now there are two things, especially one that dress he gave away. That's a material thing, which is quite wanted, which is a basic need. Whereas this moonlight, moon, which is ever pervading, ever it is there. It's the representation of abundance, joy, abundance of joy, abundance of kindness, compassion, empathy, which is just pervading like moonlight, but then it is not seen, or which is not wanted at all. Actually, it is not in demand, but then this small silly material thing is highly demanded. Whereas this person, this master, he owns the moon and the moonlight, but he can't give
So
it. Yes, please.
Aju, the last line, right? Like he was looking at the moon and telling, right, that I can't give or something like that, right?
Yeah, that
On
is a
those
poor
lines.
fellow. I wish I could give him this beautiful moon, which he cannot.
So for me, I was thinking like, in the whole night, darkness, moon is the only thing which shines, stands out, something which illuminates.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in the darkness, the light that the moon brings, that kind of thing, probably that is something really valuable, probably. I mean, like I just my thoughts went on those lines, and that is not something which he can give that to, that is not something which the thief can steal, or it's not something which he can offer to the thief also.
Yes, right? Yes.
Light in the darkness.
Yes.
Maybe. But I also resonate with what Kumaran sir and Shikya ma'am told about the beauty and the material things as such. Yeah. Material things can be given away, but the beauty as conceived by the person who is actually, see, the way you see it and the way I see it, we can't really express it in words. The way I perceive it and I express it, as you say, filtered. Yes. It is filtered.
It
So
is
the way
filtered.
we both
At the same
see
rate,
it
it is
is
reflected
different.
also. It is filtered
Yes,
and reflected.
yes.
It is not, absorbing. It's not like black hole where everything is lost. It is reflecting. That is the beauty of the moon.
Right.
Which gives out.
Ajit sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. What a wonderful short story, but powerful
Very powerful.
meaning to it. My understanding is very simple. I feel that this gentleman sitting there, giving away the last item that he owns, his own clothes.
Yeah.
He becomes naked and he gives away that. And then he's thinking, if only I could steal this moon, I would have given that to him.
Yes.
That's his large heartedness and his sense of charity. If I had one piece of cloth on me, I wouldn't give it away. Definitely not.
Of course, no.
Isn't
no one
it?
will do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
So it's just it's his maybe
state of
charity
mind.
personified or something. He just wants to give.
Yes.
And have the peace with him. So that's how I feel the story that the story reflects.
Beautifully
I may
said,
or may not be right.
No, beautifully.
Thank you.
There's no right and wrong, of course.
But an amazing story. It is amazing. I mean, we should probably think about it more in our own lives.
Our own, yeah, exactly.
Exactly. That's
and
maybe that moon moon's reflection. It should be in our lives. The reflection of the moon. The bigger things, instead of giving things which are easily giving away, we can give a lot of things which we can easily give. But those things which we cannot be given, when you give it away, is when the true charity comes in, I believe.
Yeah. Actually, when ma'am was saying about this thing, giving away the last thing, something which reflected in me also, I would like to share that this cloth is nothing but it is a limited thing. It represents a lot of to a lot of people. It is scarcity actually. Cloth is a basic need. Even that he is ready to take when the monk offers. That's clearly a sign of scarcity. But then the person who gives it away, he is not in a scarcity mindset because he has the entire moon he owns. He's not separated from the moon. Could probably be the wisdom he possesses, or could be his emotions, emotional states, or what is the empathy or higher emotions that he possesses, which even he's ready to give, but then it cannot be given because there is no receiver, because you should have something to receive when he has to give. Now he is ready to give, his empathy is there, but this person takes it and runs away is what the story says. So he's not no more there to receive what he has to give. He has immense wisdom, treasure of wisdom, which he doesn't want. So he is in the state of abundance even when his last thing is lost, which is a really beautiful reflection, ma'am. Thank you so much for saying that.
I also felt something similar, but that when he gives away even the last piece of clothing, it signifies that I mean, that's the character of the monk, right?
Yes.
I mean, he has no desires. He doesn't need anything.
Yes.
So he can give it away. He can just give it away.
Simply give it away. Yeah.
And another character which brings out the monk's character is compassion. So even after the thief comes and steals everything, he still says, "Oh, poor chap, poor fellow."
Yes.
So he understands about him and he has his compassion. That's another typical character of a monk, right?
Exactly. Poor fellow. He exactly says that because he know that that person is just limited person who is in the level of scarcity. He need even the cloth. He can't leave that even when it is offered. It's really because in terms of mindset he is poor, in terms of in all the way he's poor, and he feels literally he feels kind of what you say